The sharp strike reverberated through the cabin, snapping the quiet murmur of first class in a sudden silence. Every face turned rigid as the shocking impact rippled through the still air. Conversations died mid-sentence, the familiar hum of flight replaced by an eerie stillness that blanketed the passengers. Every eye turned instinctively towards seat 1A, where a heavy quiet reigned supreme. The flight attendant's hand was frozen in midair, a lingering echo of the furious blow she had just delivered. Her expression was twisted in a mix of anger and disbelief, lips parted slightly, as if the consequences of what she had done were only now dawning on her. In that charged instant, she had been utterly convinced she was reigning in a disruptive passenger. What Ava Lennox didn't know was that the man she had just struck was not merely any traveler. He was Nathaniel Cole, the owner of the airline, and in a heartbeat, the consequences of her impulsive action were poised to shatter everything she had built. Before we dive deeper into this story, let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from. And if you appreciate powerful stories with unexpected twists and life lessons, hit that like button and subscribe for more. 1. The first-class cabin was nearly full. The faint rustling of newspapers mixed with the clinking of crystal glasses. Soft conversations ebbed and flowed like gentle tides. But amidst all this subtle luxury, one man sat alone, his presence quietly commanding. Nathaniel Cole occupied seat 1A with an ease that made him stand out without even trying. His posture was relaxed, casually flipping through a magazine, unbothered by the ostentatious displays of wealth around him. His black dress shirt was perfectly pressed, sleeves rolled just enough to reveal a wristwatch that whispered refinement rather than shouting it. His dark trousers and polished shoes completed a look of understated elegance that only those with true taste could recognize. Despite his unassuming demeanor, something about him unsettled Ava Lennox, and she didn't like it. 2. Ava had worked in first class for nearly 12 years. She had served celebrities, CEOs, politicians. She had dealt with arrogance, entitlement, and the constant belief from these travelers that money gave them power over everything and everyone. But Nathaniel Cole wasn't like them. He wasn't on his phone barking orders. He wasn't scanning emails like the world might end if he missed a notification. He was simply there, present, quiet, reading, as though he belonged anywhere he sat. And that made Ava's instincts prick. She passed him once, then again, and each time she did, an unease settled deeper in her chest. He didn't fit the mold of the typical first-class businessman. Something was off. 3. She stopped beside him, voice steady. "Sir, are you sure you're in the right seat?" Nathaniel looked up, slowly. His deep brown eyes met hers with a calm that was both unsettling and composed. "Yes," he replied simply, without a fuss. He reached into his pocket and handed her his boarding pass. Ava's fingers trembled slightly as she took it. Seat 1A, first class. His name, Nathaniel Cole. All matched the manifest. Still, the feeling remained. She forced a polite smile as she handed the pass back. "Thank you." He gave her a faint nod and returned to his magazine as if their exchange was nothing more than a momentary pause. But Ava couldn't let it go. 4. Back in the galley, she approached her colleague, Kara. "Something's not right." Kara raised an eyebrow. "You checked his ticket?" "I did." "Then let it go." But Ava couldn't. She grabbed the passenger manifest again. There it was. Nathaniel Cole. No natives. No upgrades. Paid in full. Yet her instinct screamed otherwise. "I'm going to find out," Ava muttered, striding back toward 1A. 5. When she reached him again, she asked, "Are you traveling alone?" Nathaniel's gaze met hers. "Yes." "And this ticket wasn't upgraded?" "No." Her voice was polite but firm. "May I see your ID?" There was a brief stillness before he closed his magazine, reached into his wallet, and handed it over. Ava scanned the identification. His name matched. His photo. Everything. And yet, is there a problem? His voice was calm, but with a weight that tightened something in her chest. She shook her head. "No problem. Enjoy your flight." He took back his ID without another word. But Ava was far from convinced. 6. Kara rolled her eyes when Ava returned. You're obsessing. I'm doing my job. You're overthinking. But Ava called ground operations anyway. I need verification on Nathaniel Cole. Seat 1A. Typing sounds. Then, ticket valid. Paid in full. No issues. Still, Ava couldn't shake it. 7. She watched him the rest of the flight. Quiet. Calm. Polite. Asking for nothing but water. Thanking the crew softly. Unassuming. But Ava's discomfort grew with every passing minute. She told herself she was being thorough. But deep down, she knew it was something else. 8. Later, she approached him again. What do you do for a living? She asked, leaning in slightly. Nathaniel set down his water. Why do you ask? Just curious. He studied her for a moment, then said, I own an airline. The words hung in the air. Ava laughed, tight forced. Which one? He smiled faintly. You'll find out soon enough. And something in his tone made her believe him. 9. Back in the galley, Ava searched the airline's internal database. Nathaniel Cole's profile. Access restricted. Her stomach dropped. Kara peered over her shoulder. What does that mean? It means he's a VIP. Suddenly, everything made sense. And Ava realized she may have just made the biggest mistake of her career. 10. She told the captain. Captain Rowan's face tightened. You questioned Nathaniel Cole? You didn't seem. You didn't think he belonged. Rowan finished coldly. Ava's stomach twisted. 11. Rowan checked the database himself. Nathaniel Cole. Chairman. Majority stakeholder. Polaris International Airlines. Their airline. Their boss. 12. You're going to fix this, Rowan said, his tone brooking no argument. Publicly. Ava felt the blood drain from her face. Publicly. You humiliated him in front of first class. Now you'll apologize there too. 13. The walk back to 1, it was the longest of Ava's life. She stopped beside Nathaniel's seat. Mr. Cole. The cabin hushed. Passengers turned. I need to apologize. I questioned your seat. You're right to be here. I was wrong. Completely. And I have no excuse. Nathaniel's gaze was steady. And why did you think I didn't belong? The truth was obvious. It hung there, heavy between them. Ava's throat was tight. I made a bad judgment. He watched her, then nodded just once. You don't have an excuse, he said. But at least you recognize it. 14. The rest of the cabin sat in stunned silence. And then Nathaniel Cole sent a message on his phone. A moment later, Captain Rowan called. He changed his mind. You're not getting off with security. Ava's knees nearly gave out. 15. Why? Why had he spared her? She delivered him another drink. I appreciate your patience more than I deserve. Nathaniel looked at her calmly. Accountability matters more than punishment. And that, Ava realized, was his lesson. One she would carry for the rest of her life. The lesson. This story teaches us that judgment, based on assumptions and biases, can have serious consequences. Ava's mistake wasn't just professional, it was personal. But instead of revenge, Nathaniel Cole offered her accountability. Respect, humility, and awareness of our own prejudices are crucial. Whether in customer service or life in general, we must treat people as they are, not as we expect them to be. Do you think Ava deserved forgiveness? Was this karma or a powerful life lesson? Comment below, like the video, and subscribe for more stories that reveal the unexpected truths about humanity.